Hey, good morning everybody. This is Dr. Laurel Henderson, and I am responding to a couple of requests about how I do my pageant hair and makeup. Obviously, I'm just out of the shower right now. My hair is on its way to being dry. My way of preparing for pageant hair and makeup is different than my day-to-day look or like a glam look or just looking good for a date. So I try to actually go with a less moisturized look for my hair. It's one of the great secrets that I learned because I have such naturally straight and silky hair. Like my hair just generally is very shiny. I don't want to use my normal products, which are really moisturizing, which emphasizes that. So normally I use Oribe. It's really expensive. It smells amazing. It makes me feel like a very fancy lady. But this is super inappropriate for pageant because everything will fall out. You'll just go to straight, beautiful, glossy hair. You won't be able to hold a curl at all. I actually just use drugstore shampoo, and I don't condition. And I think that that's one of the key things I learned along my journey as well, is that the drier, kind of nastier your hair is, the better it's gonna hold on to a curl. So first things first, I'm gonna just kind of brush my hair out, and then I'm gonna blow dry it. I've talked about doing videos for a long time now, and I think that it's something I was afraid of doing because I was like, oh, I want everything to be really high quality, and I want everything to be really reflective of me as a doctor, and all of it's gonna be oral health, everything. And I think the best piece of advice I've gotten, again, I've gotten lots of great advice through the years, is from Danny Walker, who obviously is incredible, and she was Miss Montana 2018, and she started her own pageantry video channel. She basically said, if you want to make videos, start making videos. They're gonna be terrible in the beginning, whatever, but you have to go through that process in order to get to good videos. So although my dream is to be doing fantastic 1 minute and plainest videos, which is an oral condition where your gums kind of peel a little bit and get red and angry, I'm gonna start with something that's fun and easy, and if it comes out crappy, whatever. This is how you get started. So my hair is now brushed out. I'm gonna do a blow dry. And I'm not thinking about oh, let's go with the cuticle, let's make sure that we're not damaging our hair. Damage that up, man, okay? If you'll notice, my hair is very two-toned right now. It's all growing in its natural state up here, so it just looks glossy and beautiful and so nice, and I can't wait for that. The bottoms of it though are blonde because I did a balayage for a long time, and when I wear my extensions it looks beautiful and great, and you can see the front pieces are also balayage blonde. Great, love it, looks very dynamic. But for me, I gotta make sure that everything is that hold onto a curl crunchy status. So please don't get angry at me that I'm not following proper technique or using a round brush or making it super smooth. I don't want it smooth. Okay, so as I was blowing, and granted, I just noticed that was really fast. I think it's either the combination of my very, very thin hair, the fact that I started a little bit later in my after shower process and taking this video, so I was already halfway dry, or the fact that I have a pretty decent hair dryer. This one I got off of Amazon. It's called the Babyliss Pro Ceramics Extreme. It's really, really powerful, and that took me 5 minutes. That was nothing. It was great. Granted, I wasn't doing anything fancy with that. I was just using my hands, no hair, round brushing or anything cool like that. But I don't know if you noticed during the video, I was actually clicking down with my thumb on the temperature setting. I like to do that because I found that if my hair is on, like, if I'm doing on the hot setting the entire time, I can't really feel if there's wet sections left. Like, it just all feels hot to me. It could just be like steamy hair. So as I cool it down, I like notice if there are areas that need a little bit more. Also just like makes me feel more comfortable because honestly, like, my mustache was sweating during that. I heard it like makes it more glossy too, which is not the like point here, but it makes me feel like well taken care of when my hair is cool afterwards. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna let it sit for a couple more minutes just to make sure that there isn't any more steam coming off of it. Again, I don't wanna try to go into the curling iron process while my hair is steaming because that will decrease the amount that it can hold a curl. So I'm gonna go make myself some coffee and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna curl. Okay, I'm back. I have my coffee and we're gonna do the intimidating process of pageant hair. I have an appearance tonight. I'm gonna be on the red carpet and I wanna have my full pageant glam going on. Wearing extensions I think is important for pageant glam, but it's not everybody's look, but I'm gonna show you what my version of pageant glam is. So let's go over our armamentarium first, what you will need to get this look. My favorite curling iron is the Hot Tools Professional. I think this is 1.25 inches. I don't like smaller barrels. I find that the looser waves are more in right now. That one is cranked up to like Hades level. Again, we want to crisp out this really healthy hair. This is why the ends of my hair are just dead as all get out, because I put it up real high. But it's because I know that my hair, it just goes flat really quickly. So this is the battle that I'm in. Second thing is we have our extensions. I keep my extensions hung up and in a cover when I'm not using them. I got the hanger and the cover off of Amazon for like 15 bucks. Great idea, great spend. That's so much easier than trying to get them out of the box and then brush them out. You're like, oh, these look terrible. I hate them. It's a tumbleweed. Next thing you're gonna need, hairbrush. This is to just keep the sections really nice. And then I have a teasing comb to give yourself a little bit of a layer for the extensions to hook onto. Then we have our products. So my philosophy is that you really have to try a lot of different kinds of products to figure out what your hair likes best. For me, the hairspray is a really crucial element because some hairsprays actually make my hair fall faster. So the one that works best for me, I got actually as like a sponsor gift from Pageant. It's called Freeze It Hair Care Mega Freeze Extra Hold or Extreme Hold. I've used really fancy hairsprays. I've used drugstore hairsprays. And frankly, they just don't hold as well as this thing. So that's what I use. And then depending on the day, depending on how long my hair needs to last, I will add powders into it. I'll add the powders along the like teasing line where I'm gonna set my extension into, just to give it a little bit more grip. Again, because my hair is very fine and very glossy, it doesn't hold teasing very well. So this is called Michael O'Rourke Rock Your Hair Bombshell Big Hair Powder. This is like for ultimate stay power. This is like a resin, so it will glue itself. Essentially, your hair will glue itself together. I use this along the extension line, and I also use it in the front of my hair for that big old like swoop if I want that. Most of the time I'm wearing my hair in the middle part, so I don't actually like using this one. But if you need something to give you volume, this is it. If you don't care so much about having like extreme hold and like stay along for the ride for 11 hours, Bumble and Bumble's Pret a Powder, dry shampoo powder is really nice too, and that just gives it a little bit extra grit. I'm a California girl who's in New York right now, and there's humidity. I've never dealt with humidity before. I'm still trying to adjust and tweak and figure out how to get my hair to stay while it's humid. We'll see how it goes. I might use a little bit of this for the extensions, but I think the thing I'm most worried about today is my curls staying. It's not easy to keep your hair looking good. So again, biggest tip of the day that I can give you is keep this around with you. It's better to have hair that looks smooth and glossy and together and flat and not curl than something that has curl in half of it at the bottom and just is straight, and you can see the little pieces of hair of your natural hair not included in the extension. So always brush it out. Just brush as much as you can, especially if you like are traveling and you don't have access to hairspray or a curling iron to just get everything to go back to its place. Brush. Nobody has a problem right now in pageantry with straight hair. So if you can get your extensions and your regular hair to behave in a straight hair fashion, it'll pass. Finally, the clips. These things, you can do pageant glam without pin curling your hair, but I find that the staying power is a lot better when you give it some time to rest in a pin curl. Also, it's easier to do your makeup when it's a pin curl too. So I have larger clips and smaller clips. The larger clips are just like what they use at the salon, and that's what I'm going to use to keep the bulk of my hair out of my way. Then I have two other kinds of clips. I have long clips and short clips. The long clips I like for the heavier sections of hair. I'll use them at the bottom. And then as I move out of the extension zone towards the top of my head, I'll use the smaller clips just because I find that I do more curls in that area and I need something that's a little bit smaller that won't be getting in the way of everything else. So, you know, I like to set everything out and make it look really cute before I begin so that I'm not freaking out and I'm just a little OCD. If you want to be really OCD with me and like make sure everything gets the same equal treatment, I like to have a kitchen timer too, and I put my kitchen timer on 20 seconds. And so every time that I have that curling iron in, I set that 20 seconds and it stays for 20 seconds and that's it. And I never curl it more than that so I can control how much damage I'm doing and make sure that, you know, sometimes you like kind of daydream a little bit. You're not really paying attention. You've seen those like horrible videos of girls be like, oh, my hair, I just burned my hair off. I don't want that to happen to me because I'm that kind of person. I daydream really easily. Or on the contrary side, you put it in for like 4 seconds and then you don't get a good curl and then you have to recurl it again and it just takes longer in the long run. This is a long process in general, getting like hair and makeup ready, and so you want to be very efficient with your time. So I'm gonna get everything set up and then we're gonna do it. Okay, I have everything set up. We're gonna go for our first section. Don't do that. Your teeth are your friends, not tools. I'm a bad dentist. Okay, we're ready for our first section. Okay, so this is going to be the beginning of basically like an hour-long process. I'm going to try to save you a lot of time and just do one section. So you can see here I'm using my teasing comb and I'm going through the entire layer. I'm just trying to give it kind of like a nest almost of like hair backed up. And I'm spraying it into place with my hairspray. Not a ton of hairspray, just enough to keep it together. I'm going to use my extensions, and I'm going to use them in like the order and the spacing that the extensions place told me to use them. Your extensions place probably cut them and made them specially for different particular spots on your head, so just follow the instructions with that. Don't mind me doing these. So I always brush everything out. When in doubt, brush it out, girl. You do not want anything to be frizzy or not together. It will always look better if you make it polished at every single step. So brush it, then brush it again, and then brush it 4 times over. Spray it a couple of times with hairspray, and then brush it again so it's all together and smooth and silky. And then we're going to be curling away from our face. So grab mid-shaft and roll up, and then just kind of tap, tap, tap through that handle until you get all the little ends together. Normally I'd put a 20-second timer on, but I'm counting in my head today. So 20 Mississippis through, holding on to that. And I don't recommend watching movies or anything that is exciting during this process because you will burn your hair off. That'd be a very bad day. So I'm going to hold my curling iron in, and then I'm going to let the curl drop. And while it's hot, I'm gonna use the natural curl pattern with my clip, and I'm just gonna go straight along that curl pattern. I'm not trying to make it do anything fancy. Just hold it up in place, clip it out of the way, and move on to your next one. The whole process takes maybe 40 seconds per curl. So brush, 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 curl, move on. So I've done my entire head already. You can see I just followed my extensions, and now I'm ready to do the top of my head. I try to keep my extensions as low as possible because I don't want clips like showing through. That would look awful and ugly. For the top part, I'm trying to keep volume, but I want really smooth curls, and I want a center part. So the back part of my head is going to be curls backwards, almost like a Bridget Bardot kind of like bump. And then the front part is going to be split off so that I can do the like center part. Again, keeping my hair sectioned and then curling it away from my face every single time. You'll notice when I curl this that the way that I clip the hair up is a little bit differently. When I do curl my hair up, I want it to keep the really nice volume that I created by lifting it off of my head. So you'll see in just a moment that I'll actually hold the curl in place and clip it in place rather than staying with a natural curl pattern. So, and I don't tease at this stage. I used to tease at this stage thinking I was gonna get more height and volume out of it, and it just looked like a nasty, matted mess. I'm following the same kind of just brush, brush, spray, spray, make it sure it's smooth, and then 20 seconds of curling iron, Hadestown bliss. Hold it in place. Think of all the cute boys you're gonna see on that red carpet. Oh my goodness, you're too good for them. Who even are you, you goddess? I do a lot of personal affirmations when I do my hair. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So as we go through this process, it will look much less messy. I know I look like a drowned, harassed rat right now. It doesn't help that I have pretty bad RBF too. All right, 20 seconds. And that's my little baby clippy. Don't put it in your mouth. Good, I listened. All right, now holding the curl where it is, not letting it drop. And I'm gonna clip it at the base so that the hairs stay really, really nicely up and lifted. So it like kind of not dries, but cools it in the lifted position. So I'll finish the rest of it and then I'll show you how I style it. Okay, here's the fun part. So we're going to take all the clips out. We're going to do it in a very systematic fashion. I'm going from the top to the bottom, and I'm just flipping the curls over to be out of the way so I can get to the lower levels. You don't want to snag the hair here because it'll pull the curl loose and you'll get a really frizzy look. It's a lot easier if you have a friend to do this for you, but you can do it yourself. Look at that. Look at that mane. Now, please do not let it stay like this. Brush those curls out. I cannot tell you how many girls I've seen at pageants or on runways who've done an amazing job curling their hair, but it looks ridiculous and obvious and just not polished because they don't brush their hair frequently enough. You have a really smooth, glossy, beautiful look, as I do here, if you just keep on brushing. And we all know what my hair started as. It was Crunch City. It was vegan granola Los Angeles crunchy at the bottoms just a second ago. But it looks good if you do a little brush. I did a little bit of tease there just at the part line. Again, only getting a little bit of volume right in the center. I already have enough volume everywhere else. I'd rather look smooth and Hollywood than like Miss Texas. Nothing against Miss Texas, but that's just like a pageantry trope to say that like big hair closer to heaven. No, I don't need really, really big hair right now. I want it to be smooth. I am curling my hair together in sections right now, trying to train it to stay together. So I have kind of those like beautiful wings of hair that are going to fall away from my face as a unit together. If you don't do this extra curl step, you might have little like chunkies that frame your face that don't actually look attractive at all. So try to do the extra step of curling the pieces together to train them together. Always brushing them out, making them look really, really smooth together, and then hairspray a lot. You're going to need more hairspray than you think. Fine mist and build it. You see, I'm not touching my hair with my fingers. I'm not combing through it with my fingers because your hands are greasy. You don't even know how greasy your hands are. Do not touch your hair. It will make the curl fall out. The entire night, do not touch your hair. It'll make the hair or the curl fall out. If you want flat hair, fine, touch your hair. But if you want it to stay for hours and hours, don't touch it. Just brush it. Then, again, you want to spray, and put your little clippies in. This is going to help teach the hair to stay up and away from your face so your face is framed really nicely. Spray. Brush. Get those ugly little, like, outrigger sections. You see those like frizzy things back there? I'm going to come and get those. I'm not forgetting them. I want the front of my hair obviously to look better than anything else. The backside is kind of secondary. You know, we're talking about photos here. Photos got to look good, but you want to look good from all angles too. So if you see something, do something about it. And then, I mean, look at that makeup. You look great, Laurel. Ooh, proud of you. You looked rough earlier. Okay, so I'm all brushed out. I look, I think, pretty good today. All I have to do really is just put my crown on and head into the city and be Miss California for the day, which is, I mean, doesn't this just make it? Like, my hair could be like literally a tumbleweed. We put that thing on and it's just, I feel like I'm like a drag queen living my dream. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about what I did or other looks you want me to do, I know this is more of like a center part look, and side parts I think are a little bit more challenging, so I might do that again for you. But for the look I'm going for today, I like this. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend.